Hey guys, it's Stephen here back with another video talking about Manchester City Football Club and talking about the big world of Manchester City and all the little random bits of news that are flying around the internet and stuff. I hope you're good. Hello, I hope you're well and healthy and safe and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for the very nice comments on the last video. Some people saying I didn't look quite myself. I'm not even being honest, but I'm alright. I'm alright. You know, who is themselves at the moment? And if you are, why? Like, fully yourself. Seriously, I don't get how anyone can be fully themselves at the moment, but I'm happy generally, so thank you for the very nice comments. I am okay, and I do look forward to football coming back, and fingers crossed it'll be the release that we all need at the moment because the world is a mess. But hopefully we'll be all back to normal, and I've just caught sight in my hair. It's a bloody mess too. I really need a haircut, but you know, fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm waffling. We're going to start today with some news about a guy, if I'm being honest, I have never heard of. João Lillo. Put your hands up if you'd actually heard of him as of like 9 a.m. this morning. I guarantee most of us hadn't heard of him. I may have heard of him passing and all that kind of stuff, but this guy, he is a journeyman manager and he's going to be Manchester City's assistant manager according to plenty of reports. This is one of those things that's so bizarre, so random, so out of the blue that it's almost certainly true. Like when apparently, Scott Carlson was going to join Manchester City. It was so weird that we all just knew it'd be true straight away. And this is too. Now, he's currently a manager in China for Qingdao Huanghai. I can't say it, I'm sorry. I'm very bad at pronouncing Chinese names other than Shanghai and Guangzhou, the two places I know. Qingdao Huanghai, he's currently managing there, is João Lillo. He's 54 years old and he'll be Manchester City's new assistant manager, Guardiola's right-hand man, as of very, very soon, apparently. Now, we've all been waiting for this big perfectly haired Spanish hole of Mikel Arteta to be filled when he joined Arsenal in December. And it looks like we finally got our man. Now, I'll be honest, how many people actually expected this guy to be our new manager when this vacancy arrived? I really didn't at all. I really, really didn't. I never in a million years did I expect this to happen, but it's happened. And I'm quite intrigued, if I'm being honest. I'm quite intrigued to see how this will go. He is, by all intents and purposes, a very interesting choice for this. We all thought it could have been Company, it could have been Xabi Alonso, it could have been Xavi. Loads of exotic names were thrown about. And what we've got is a guy, 54-year-old guy, with fantastic hair, by the way. He's got a big bouffant full of hair. And he's going to be our new assistant manager. Now, their backstory is pretty special, actually. I've been doing some research on this guy, and it's to the extent they're such close friends that Guardiola has even been referred to by Lillo as his son. Back in 2012, he did an interview and called Guardiola his son. They're very close friends. People don't tend to realise that Guardiola actually played for this guy. I'll get onto that in a bit. But his coaching story is a wild one. Most famously, the now defunct UD Salamanca. He was managing them up through 3 divisions, Segunda B, then to Segunda, and then to the first division, the Primera division at the time. He did really well at Salamanca, and he was only in his mid-20s, which makes that accomplishment even more special. He played great football as well. He did really well at Oviedo as well, which apparently is where he caught Guardiola's eyes. He had a good spell there, and apparently he's the guy who's credited by many people as inventing the 4-2-3-1 formation, which is obviously so well, I guess it's the formation these days. Guardiola has a slight kind of variant on that, obviously, at Manchester City, but that is quite a claim. Now, obviously, a lot of people don't realise that, and I didn't realise this until I did a bit of research, that after Guardiola was close to retiring after playing in Qatar, just before he joined Barcelona B for his first ever job in management, Guardiola actually went to Mexico to play for Dorados, essentially to just learn from Lillo. Guardiola has said the only reason he went to play in Mexico was to learn from this guy that he sees as that influential in football. And I love that, because a lot of people think Guardiola is mainly influenced by Bielsa, but this guy's right up there as well, so that's really interesting, isn't it? It's really, really interesting. Now, I don't know what this guy's going to bring to Manchester City. I don't know how good he is, but everything I can gather is that this guy is a football purist. He's the kind of guy who believes in crazy ideas, who believes in players expressing themselves. He's a tactical manager. He's very, very, very creative, basically, and I do like that. I do like people who think creatively. I do like managers who can challenge the status quo a little bit, and this guy coming in, it's interesting. We'll see, I guess. We'll see how it kind of unravels, but it's not something I was expecting. It's not maybe an exciting signing, for being honest, but it is an interesting signing, and fingers crossed he can make an impact on Manchester City's tactical efforts going forward. It's going to be very interesting. He's obviously quite senior as well, which will be interesting too. On the next story, João Cancelo. Now, despite all the reports to the contrary over the past couple of weeks or the past couple of months, It looks like this guy could actually be staying, according to Marca in Spain via Sport Witness. Now, according to recent reports, Semedo was looking likely to be the guy to come in to replace Cancelo, who's not really settled that well in Manchester in general. But reports today suggest that Semedo is not really in Manchester City's plans and they are not interested in acquiring his services. And further to that, there were some reports that actually Sergio Roberto could be the one to reunite with Guardiola and be Manchester City's new right-back stroke utility player. The 28-year-old apparently was transferable. But that isn't going to happen apparently. Now it's just the fact that it's likely that Cancelo will actually stay at Manchester City for a little bit, and City apparently have made a bit of a mess of this transfer. That doesn't surprise me at all. That really doesn't surprise me. I can say I'm a little bit surprised, but also not surprised at the same time. I did think he would go, but also I'm not surprised that this could just fall through and he hangs around for a bit and we wait until this kind of season is done, whenever that's going to be. The reports did say that apparently Briggenstein and Guardiola do want to wait until the season's complete before they go into the transfer market. I don't really see why. I mean, usually you say that, but at the moment everything is so confusing that I don't really see the benefit from that. But whatever, so be it. So be it. If that's the case, then okay. Cancelo probably could stay. Finally, I want to talk about Eric Garcia. Don't do this, Manchester City. Do not let this guy slip through our fingers. Now, Jack Gordon, who's very close to Manchester City, he writes for the Daily Mail, but he's got a lot of very good connections, has said that Garcia is willing to thrash out some fresh terms at Manchester City and extend his stay here. Fingers crossed he will do, because that would be absolutely huge. Now, Garcia is very level-headed. He's very composed. He does like this club. And I do believe he would stay quite happily. But he hasn't been given many chances, I would guess. Even though he started to break his way through, and some reports did say that as a 19-year-old, he's very happy to play for Spain under 21s, and the fact that he's played some games for a team as good as ours, well, he's very flattered and he's very happy with his development. But at the same time, he must be thinking, well, you know, can I be trusted? And these reports today coming out do suggest that. Now, some relatively connected Barcelona-based journalists have suggested that this guy wants to return to Barcelona, and if they push that transfer, he will go back. This is worrying because it doesn't take a genius to figure out that a Barcelona supporting ex-Barcelona La Masia product probably would go back to Barcelona if they pushed hard enough. Because why wouldn't he? Because of course he would. So we got to be very careful here. I really fear a kind of like Gerard Piqué situation here, where we had a young Barcelona academy player go to Manchester, in this case it was United, show that he has ability, then go back and make a massive career. Because letting Garcia go in a very similar method would be absolutely catastrophic for Manchester City. This guy is so good. This guy has so much ability, so much potential, so much authority already at such a young age. I would honestly be starting him right now alongside Laporte. I would genuinely be saying you could be the future of our defence. And let's be honest, in those performances he did play for City, he more than earned a chance. He was fantastic. I know he isn't the fastest, he isn't the strongest, he isn't the biggest, but what he lacks in physicality, he makes up for it in brains and leadership and the way he reads the game. The guy is absolutely quality. And if we lose him, honestly, there should be heads rolling for this. This would be a catastrophic. It would be genuinely a huge loss for Manchester City, just because of the message that it sends. I know in terms of the immediate impact, it wouldn't be that big, but we can't lose players of this quality. We can't lose players of this potential at Manchester City. We just can't let him go, because, I mean, if the only way we can get him to stay is if they're lifelong Manchester City fans like Phil Foden, then we're fucked, really. And if he goes, it's because he doesn't believe in the system here, like Sancho didn't, like maybe Jayden Braff might not. We can't let these young players go constantly, because we have to show that there is a way to the first team, that they can be trusted here, because otherwise, what is the point in this academy? Garcia is a fantastic player that has to be shown a path. I don't believe he'll get that path. I really don't. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think Stones allegedly might sign a new contract. Make of that what you will. Otamendi will probably hang around for a bit. Fernandinho's probably ahead of him. Laporte is definitely ahead of him. We have to show some faith in these young lads. Fingers crossed we don't let Eric Garcia walk out the door, because that would be a massive, huge mistake for Manchester City. And we need to show that these young players do have a pathway, because he's a very special young player. Guys, a lot of people ask me as well what I thought of the 1894 banner. You can see it on Twitter. Tacky, in my opinion, if I'm being honest, I didn't really like it. The less said about that, the better. I know some people do like it, but for me, it just, I think it misses the tone. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for all the concern about the comments and all that kind of stuff. Saying I did look myself. It's football. It's live. We'll be fine. I'm surviving. You're surviving, hopefully. It's been a shit time, but we will get through this together, hopefully. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know what you make of all these stories. Juan Lillo, a new name for me. Cancelo and Eric Garcia. Let us know down in the comments below. And I'll see you tomorrow for another video in a bit.